Day two of 5 days on confidence. Good morning to you. I hope you're well. Let us know where you are in the world. We would love to know where you are in the world. Are you on planet Earth? I really hope so. I believe you are. I believe I'm on Earth, and I believe I'm on top of the world. Did you know you're always on top of the world? Have you ever had that feeling? Like, I feel like I'm on top of the world. Have you ever had that feeling before? Look, I can see myself there. Wow, this guy looks good. Should we listen to what he has to say? Shall we listen, or should we go and do something else? I don't know. Could I possibly have your attention? Could I have your attention, please, for the... How long for? Could I have your attention for the next, what do you reckon, 10, 15 minutes? Would you give me that? Because your attention is really important. And I believe that what I'm about to say to you in the next few minutes is going to radically change your life. Now, I just need to share this post in a couple of different places, and we can get stuck into some great content. Let me just find it first of all. There we go. I can find myself. Have you ever lost yourself and then found yourself? So let me share this in here. Let me share this in here. Let us know where you are in the world. And like I say, thank you so much for joining me this morning. We're going to get stuck straight into some content here. And like I say, I really appreciate all of you being here. I know it takes sometimes a few minutes for people to be able to find the posts. And I'll tell you something else that you could do for us right here, right now, is share this information. Share this information as opposed to sharing this inflammation, which is something that all human beings have as well. We're going live on Instagram. We're live on Instagram. So here we are. Good morning, everyone. It's day 2 on 5 days on confidence. Now, I just said, and by the way, today we are going to dispel 4 of the biggest myths, 4 of the biggest myths that exist as to why you are not confident. Have you ever felt like you're on top of the world? Well, I need to tell you this. You are always on top of the world. Even if you're in a cave under the ground, you're still on top of the world. Confidence is just a feeling. And one of the things I mentioned yesterday was, how many times in your life do you think a lack of confidence has stopped you from doing things? How many times? In fact, yesterday, one of our My365 Elite members sent a message saying that she got a job yesterday that she went for, that she said a year ago she never would have believed that she would have gone for the job, let alone get it. But what she has done is she has gone to work on building her confidence. So I bet there have been many times in your life where you've lacked the confidence to follow through, maybe to go and talk to someone or to start something or finish something. What you said to yourself, I'm not good enough, I don't have what it takes. You and I and all of us have lacked confidence at some point in our life. But what we looked at yesterday was, look, it's not your fault. It's just the way you've been playing the game. This is a game. Life is a game. That's how I look at it. And I asked yesterday, how have you been playing this game of life? What most people do with the way that they play the game of life is a way where they don't actually get a sense of real fulfillment, like they're winning the game. The rules of the game that you're playing are the ones that everyone else is playing, the ones that were taught to you by your parents in many cases, that people around you, that little people should be seen and not heard, that money is the root of all evil, that don't copy, don't talk to strangers, that we've all been conditioned to think and act in a certain way, that the results that we get from our life are a direct result of that conditioning. So it isn't your fault, but you have to learn to play the game differently. Plus, you have to go into training. And how many of you, if you've ever trained in anything, right now, those of you that are watching on Instagram, those of you that are watching on Facebook, in your life, what have you ever trained in and got better at? How many times in your life have you trained at something and through training, you got better? Obviously, the example that most people think about is physical training. You don't just go to the gym once and then do one workout and say, that's it, I've trained, I am fit. I don't need to do any of this anymore. I'm now fit. It's the same often with driving lessons. You didn't have one driving lesson. You didn't learn to read on one day and that was it. You could read. You went into training. So I have to ask you this question before we really do some great work this morning, as I shared with you 4 of the biggest myths around why you are not as confident as you could be. And you could apply this not just to confidence, you could apply this to happiness. Does this make sense? So it's going into training in order for you to be confident. What is confidence? It's a feeling. That's all that it is. It's just a feeling. Feelings, that's all that it is. It's just a feeling. And you choose how you feel. But this is going to make a lot more sense to you as we go into these 4 myths. Understand that confidence really, in its essence, it's a feeling that gives you a sense of trust that you have the ability to do what you need to do regardless of anything. Confidence in your ability today to do what you need to do to get through the day, but also developing that confidence about your ability to achieve your goals and your dreams and your ambitions. And I know this from having done this work for nearly 30 years, that you and I and everyone that is watching this has goals, dreams, and ambitions that in most cases we will not achieve. What's the most expensive land in the world? It's the graveyard, right? Why the graveyard? Do you know how many people have been buried and all the things they wanted to do never actually happened? The book they wanted to write, the film they wanted to produce, the person they wanted to go and talk to, but they didn't talk to them because they lacked the confidence. Confidence is a feeling of, I can do this, I can do anything. So right now, let's look at the 4 biggest myths. If we come up on here, first of all, what is myth number 1? Myth number 1 is that confidence is a natural state. Now, what does that mean? Is a natural state. What does that actually mean? You know what is much more of a natural state for us, for all of us here? Are we on this camera? That confidence is much more of a natural state. It's not a natural state. A natural state for most of us is a feeling that something is wrong. We have a brain that has evolved over hundreds of thousands of years, or 100,000 years, who knows how many, but for a long time. And how was that brain evolved? It was evolved for us to be looking out, on our guard for danger, not for looking out for what is working. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's not like that. We have to train ourselves. It's good that we have that brain, but most of us are using our brain in a way that doesn't move us in the direction that you want to go. So do we need to move this forwards? You can talk to me.
Yeah, that. Just pull it down a bit so we can see.
There we go. Having a couple of challenges here with the camera. So that's the first myth. Confidence is a natural. I don't know why I've written confidence is a natural mean, but I am dyslexic. So confidence is a natural state. It's not a natural state. This has to be developed. And we live in a world that for so many of us, this is what manifests in our lives. This. So what is the next myth that we need to become aware of and bust this myth? If you're not happy, the next myth, if you're not happy or you're not confident, you are defective, right? If you're not happy or confident, you are defective. So that's what most people think. You know, how many people do you think in the world right now are not happy? And because they're not happy or not confident, they think there's something wrong with them. Just take a moment. to really think about that. It's such a powerful statement. But just take a moment and think about it. Is there something?
Yeah, no one can see what you're writing.
Really?
Yeah, I can't read it.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. We don't need to write it. If we were relying on certain things like that, we would be really in trouble. So just give me your undivided attention. Is that really possible right here, right now? To understand that because you don't feel the way that you want to feel, because you're not happy, because you don't feel because you don't feel confident, you think you're defective? Everyone is defective. Every single one of us. We're not perfect. We don't live forever. And maybe today is a day where you wake up and start to really look at the world with a fresh pair of eyes. What do I mean by that? To start seeing yourself in a new light and understand the way that you're moving through life and the way you allow your feelings to take over. You will never stop negative feelings. This is part of what the first myth is about, that we think it's a natural state to be confident, to be happy. It's not a natural state. It's a state that can be cultivated. What we have to learn to do is to develop what is called psychological flexibility. Psychological flexibility. That's the key word for today, my friends. Your ability to develop the flexibility where you realize you have a choice and you can take emotion and channel it. Because if we look at what our third myth is, which I've just written down here, is to create a better life, you must get rid of negative feelings. And this is why so many people are struggling right now. They have a feeling of worry, doubt, fear, anxiety, sadness, depression. They have that feeling, right? They have that feeling. And what do they do with that feeling? They don't allow themselves to experience it. They almost bury that emotion. And if we don't acknowledge it, we don't accept the fact that it's there, it manifests. Can you see that we live in a world that has so beautifully crafted the ability for us to let these emotions manifest itself? That you feel an emotion, say, I shouldn't feel angry, I shouldn't feel frustrated, I shouldn't feel sad. No, it's what you do with those emotions. And this is where coaching can be, and this is why personal development and lots of self-help books and self-help theories are kind of nonsense, because they're saying that you shouldn't have these feelings. You're never going to stop those feelings. It's your ability to use them and channel those emotions. So what's myth number 4? You should be able to control what you think and feel. You should be able to control what you think and feel. It's incredibly hard to control what you think and feel. If I said to you, right, stop here for a moment and don't think about anything. How easy is that to do? It's almost impossible. My goal here today in talking to you about confidence is to help you become more aware of psychological flexibility, your ability to be flexible in the emotions that you feel. And being able to change it, or not necessarily being able to change it, to use it in a way that gives you more power. So what I'd love you to start becoming really aware of is, write this word down, diffusion. Diffusion, to be able to fuse, to stop yourself being fused to certain emotions. And this is something I've really this is something I've really been challenged with myself in my own life, is feeling fused to a certain emotion and then thinking, I am my anger, I am my fear, I am my worry, I am my doubt. And we become fused to that. We need to learn the psychological flexibility that allows you to defuse from a certain emotion. Does this make sense to anyone? How many of you have felt fused to certain emotions? Maybe you could tell us right here, right now, those of you that are on Instagram, Facebook, what emotions do you often get fused to? You have a thought and the thought kind of takes over. Do you feel fused to worry, stress? You see, confidence is the most incredible state that we can cultivate in ourselves. And this is where I encourage all of you to wake up like you've never woken up before and realize that you always have a choice. So before we just do a quick recap of those 4 myths, let me say what I said yesterday about giving you a tool. One of the most powerful tools is not actually a tool. It's just becoming more aware. Once you become more aware of what is actually going on in the world, be able to step back, you see the world in a different light. But often we get so caught up in everything that's going on around us, we fail sometimes to be able to step back and look at things differently. And that's what a good coach does. A good coach will always help you to look at the world differently, because you ain't going to change by Pete Cohen telling you what to do. You might do it for a bit, but after a bit, or maybe straight away, the psychological reactance in you will rise up and you go, I'm not doing what you were telling me to do because I want to do what I want to do. Because there's a rebel in you, and we've looked at psychological flexibility, but there's also psychological reactance, that you will react to being told what to do, even when you tell yourself what to do. And this is, again, why, going into training and going to work on this stuff is absolutely essential. But let me give you a tool. This is the tool. The next time, today, when you notice there is negative feeling or there's negativity, there's something you're experiencing that is not allowing you to be confident, is to say to yourself, I'm noticing this. I'm noticing that there is some worry there. I'm noticing that there is some frustration there. Allow yourself to notice it. Allow it to come and allow it to go. And what I want to share with you tomorrow is you and I were always going to have these emotions. They're just a part of life. The array of all of the different emotions. You can think of any emotion. You've probably felt it at least once in your life. But the negative emotions can be channeled, especially where you know where you're going. And this is where I reckon maybe 98% of people around the world right now, they don't have compelling goals. They don't know really what their values are, which is something that we'll look at tomorrow. If you have compelling goals and values, what tends to happen is when you feel something negative, you use that negative emotion to drive you forwards. We look at these things and think they're good or bad. It's much more, I think, more important, not about good or bad. It's about how do you use this thought? How do you use this feeling? Because I promise you this, if you don't learn to do this, you can get frustrated, and then you can get angry by the fact that you're frustrated. Then you'll get sometimes even stressed at the fact that you're frustrated about something that you're angry about. Or you just feel guilty, and then you feel guilty about the fact that you're guilty, rather than using the guilt, using the frustration to drive you forwards. Does this make sense? It's a simple message. It's a challenging message. And it's even harder, I believe, to really go to work on this. And then you have to ask yourself the question, why would you want to do this? Isn't it just better just to have a little bit of ignorance to all of this and just do absolutely nothing about it? Wouldn't that be easier? People say ignorance is bliss. That's what a lot of people do. And, I'm sorry if this is a bit of a full-on message for you at, 7:20 on a Tuesday morning. Maybe you just want to switch this off and go and watch another cat video on YouTube and just allow yourself to be normal and just to go through life, never aspiring to anything greater than what you're experiencing right now. From having done this work for so long, I can tell you, I believe that every single person wants to leave this world in a better place than they came here. They want to leave a mark. They want to have made a difference in some way, shape, or form. And if you don't learn to start working on some of this stuff, you will be a victim like everybody else. Most people are victims to the society that they live in some way, shape, or form, but also victim to their conditioning. So let's look at these 4 myths again, and then let's wrap this up. And I'd love to know what's been your biggest takeaway. Remember, if you haven't shared this, feel free to share it. How many people do you think their lives will be enriched by hearing this message? All this is, to recap, is a way that you have been playing the game of life. And maybe, however old you are or wherever you are in the world, whatever your religion, whatever your culture, whoever, you have an opportunity to play the game differently. To dispel these myths will really help you, I believe, to look at the world differently and understand, what does it really take to be happy? What does it really take to be confident? Myth number one, confidence or happiness is a natural state. It is not a natural state at all. It isn't a natural state. It could become more natural. What's a natural state? A state of survival, I believe, just trying to get through. We can cultivate this. We have the ability to love. We have the ability to do amazing things, but it doesn't happen by chance. It happens by design. Otherwise, you'll just be like everybody else. And if you want to be like everybody else, that's fine. Just go and do it. Switch this off. But if you have an inkling of desire to get better and do more and achieve more, you've come to the right place. What was myth number two? If you're not confident, you're defective. No. Everyone is defective. Everyone has insecurities and imperfections. It's how you use those negative feelings to pull you forwards. What was myth? What was myth number three? To create a better life, you must get rid of negative feelings. You must get rid of them. No, don't get rid of them. You can allow yourself to experience them. And sometimes where people feel that they can't get rid of them, they should really talk to someone. That's why there are therapists and counselors that exist out there to help people, especially if those keep reoccurring. What I've observed with people, because the role of a coach is to take you from where you are to where you want to be, the role of a coach is to help you work out where you want to go. Once you work out where you want to go, it can be really easy to keep yourself going and to use the frustration and the fear and the anger and the doubt as almost turn it into a positive emotion to drill you into what you need to do to manifest your goals and your dreams and your ambitions. And myth number four, you should be able to control what you feel. I don't think you can control what you feel. You can do something with it and you can change it around, but you can't necessarily control it. It's coming anyway. What we're going to look at in more detail tomorrow is showing you how to diffuse. So how do you diffuse? You diffuse by becoming more aware. I'm noticing anxiety. I'm aware of some frustration. People are scared to do that, but to let it happen. And then this is really important, and we'll finish on this, to ground yourself in the present moment. Most fears and worries and doubts are the fact that we're not here. We're thinking about the past, more often the future. To ground yourself in the moment, how do you do that? You take a deep breath, you put a smile on your face, and you tell yourself, I'm incredible. I'm amazing. I'm here. This is my life. I really hope you've enjoyed this presentation today, this live broadcast. When I broadcast to our live community on a Tuesday, it's often a little bit hard hitting. As a coach, it's my role sometimes to push people, because people don't grow in their comfort zone. They grow in the outer edges. You know, that's where we have to get comfortable or almost being uncomfortable. I believe, as many people know, that My 365 is the number one opportunity in the world. There's no better opportunity out there. This is how I believe it. And many of our members will tell you for you to go to work on yourself and get a coach, get a world-class coach that is available to you wherever you are in the world. If you click the link in the bio, find out how you can get your hands on one of these. And you think, well, what's that? It's just a box. No, it's what's in this box. There's a few things, but one of the things that in this box, and it only costs you £1 to get your hands on it. This is what one of the things you get. This is almost like my life's work. In order to create the life you want, we believe these are the key areas that you need to graduate in. These are the key areas that you need to graduate and apply the rules of willpower, confidence, leadership, mindfulness, wellness, the stuff that we all should have learned at school, but we didn't. And this is the greatest opportunity in the world for your personal and professional development. Why? World-class coaching. Every single day, Monday to Friday, we show up. This week it's free for everyone. That's one reason. The second reason is the most advanced collection of tools, tips, and strategies in the form of masterclasses that, again, you can watch online. And just as important as all of that is a community of incredible human beings who are all on a similar journey to you. Like I said, a great life doesn't happen by chance. It happens by design. And if you surround yourself with people who are looking to do the same thing, the sky is really the limit. I appreciate all of you being here today. I'm excited to share more information with you. My goal is to help you win an Oscar of becoming the best human being you can possibly be. That's often why we like to watch actors. We like to see people on stage who have played a part and that, look, thank you very much. It's been great. They played that part really well. I believe you're not playing the part of you as well as you could be. That's why I'm here to help and manifest that. We'll see you tomorrow with some more tools, tips, and techniques to help you be incredible. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Let's wave at everyone here on Instagram and with Facebookers. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time. No. Actually, thank you. Not the same time. Tomorrow, we will broadcast at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. in the morning. If you can't watch it live, don't worry. You can watch it on the replay. 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful day. Happy, beautiful day. See you tomorrow.